At 5 o'clock, good to have you. Sorry about the delay there. I thought I broke my headphones. All right. So I want to do something a little different because we are really going to drill down football-wise in the coming days as we are a week from the draft starting tomorrow. But I saw something last night, and I said, you know what? Today's a good day to do this. So anytime they do these player anonymous polls, I'm leery. Because a lot of times it just comes down to who players like and don't like. But there was a poll that coincided with an NBA playoff game last night. Most overrated player in the NBA. And don't worry, everybody, before you go to change the channel. We're not doing an NBA topic. Just settle in. But that player was Trae Young. And that player, on the heels of that news story, was bombed by the Celtics crowd. Chance of overrated all night. They just crushed him. And the Celtics crushed the Hawks. But I actually agreed with the results of it. I think Trae Young is criminally overrated. I think he is all sizzle, no steak. He's not a winning player. I don't even need to go into efficiency stats. Just watch him play. That's before we mention he got the GM who drafted him fired. That's before we mention he got poor Nate McMillan fired. Bottom line, he's been living off one playoff run. He's in his fourth or fifth year in the league. He's a loser. But I got thinking about this. I say, okay, very rarely do I agree with these poll results. But I went, Trae Young, yeah, most overrated guy in the league. But then I started thinking, who's the Trae Young of the other leagues? We got the NHL playoffs going on, and we got Alec Manoah screening calls over there. I figured, well, can he be able to tell us who the Trae Young of hockey is? Who's the Trae Young of the NFL? Who's the Trae Young of baseball? Who is the most overrated player in their given sport? And again, I understand. I have a bias because I don't like Trae Young. Now, if you think I'm wrong, that he's not the most overrated guy in basketball, we can have that debate. But I didn't want this to be singular sport. I wanted this to be all of sports. So, gentlemen, let's begin there. Trae Young, is that acceptable as the most overrated player in the league?
I think it is. I do think it's acceptable. I would at least put him in my top two. There is one that I would go one more. Don't know because of the injury status if I'm allowed to, but, man, Zion came in with so much hype. The fact that he's now played, only like 114 games in his career, 29 games, 61, 24 games. He was supposed to be all that, and now you're dictating when you want to play. But you say you're hurt, but then you go out dunking in the pregame. And yeah, I'm throwing Zion on that list. At least Trae goes out there and embarrasses himself, trying to be young Steph.
I can't defend Zion anymore. And while you were on vacation, I said it. There's nothing I can do. I thought his audio was embarrassing. I thought the decision not to play was embarrassing. I think the shape that he's in is embarrassing. And really, with him, I think the Pels are a top 4 team in the West and a legit threat. Yeah. Without him, they're this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am fine if you want to say it. When he plays, he's incredible.
He is.
But he just doesn't play.
It's just like you said, it's when he plays. Heck, Paul George is like, wow, you skip a lot of games.
Paul George, don't even get me started. Don't. Let's do this. Go to the NFL. Who's the Trae Young of the NFL? David, you got a suggestion? I know who mine is.
I do have a suggestion. I don't want to take it away from the caller, though. The caller is my suggestion.
Okay. Can I give you my vote for the Trae Young of the NFL?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
He is not who you think he is.
See,
horrible playoff numbers. Horrible fourth quarter numbers. Oh, we got a little touch of Zion. He doesn't play. Gave up on his team this year, 5 games. Missed 5 games the year prior. Now he's out here crying about a contract. He's not. He has regressed since winning that MVP in the same way Trae Young has regressed since leading the Hawks to the ECF.
You know what? I have a player as well. I don't want to steal it from the caller. I was just about to say it, but I happen to see the call screen.
All right, it's okay.
I don't want to take it from the caller. But this guy, Matt, you're correct.
Just go to it.
You're on fire.
Hold on, because is Kenny available? Trae Young of hockey.
The former captain of your team, the current captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr. Minus Stats in the playoffs,
John Tavares.
One John Tavares.
But he took a picture in his pajamas,
Right,
Kenny.
that was really cute. Remember when your fans threw his jersey on the ice when he came back? That was kind of funny. Also, he's been the captain of your team and the captain of a team who hasn't been out of the first round since 2004. I don't want to hear about John Tavares anymore. That's my piece.
Oh, here's the problem. Does anyone know who John Tavares is?
You asked me for a hockey player.
I guess, okay, let me ask you this. And it might not be fair, but work with me. Do we have a bigger name?
If you really want to say because he has more star power attached to him, Austin Matthews?
See, now you're getting somewhere.
You can go down that direction, but his numbers aren't nearly as bad in the playoffs as John Tavares. And John Tavares is the captain, and in hockey, that means
Let
something.
me offer something as a bit of a hockey neophyte, but I want to offer something. Even though he's making history in the regular season, at what point do we get to bring up Connor McDavid? Because I must have missed the portion where the Oilers have even made the finals.
You're right. I mean, they made the conference finals last year. That's not a cup final, but it is something. The problem with them is they don't have any depth. You can't just build a team around one singular guy.
Well, that's because he's Kevin Garnett. He took all the money.
That's true. I feel like he's going to want out of there soon, so the jury's still out
Okay,
there. I'm not ready to go there yet.
I had to ask the question.
He's the best player on planet freaking Earth right now.
Unbelievable.
Can you say that about Trae Young? Probably not.
Oh, no.
There you go.
No.
There's your answer.
Trae.
But for me, yeah, Johnny Tavares.
Trae Young's a con artist. Connor McDavid is fabulous. He just hasn't. And again, hockey's different than hoops. One great player can carry you. Unless you're Kevin Durant, then you must be carried. But by the way, I have never been more confident. If the Celtics make it, the Suns have no shot at beating them. None. Because I'm telling you, I feel like this Suns team could lose to the ass Clippers without Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
What is Durant doing?
I don't know.
Okay. So,
I mean, maybe it's just taking them some time to get acclimated to the team. But
wow. 248-539-9797. All right, so we got some suggestions. You said you wanted to go to Matt first because that was your guess, the Trae Young of that league. Okay, Matt, leadoff spot. What's going on?
Actually, it's all NFL. I have a trifecta. So you stole Lamar from me, and we're going to go with Kyle Murray, too. So when I watch ESPN Talking Heads, it's almost like they're afraid to say anything bad about a black quarterback. Pay him. I think they're both garbage. But I'll throw Odell in there, too. $15 million?
Yeah.
I mean, he was garbage in Cleveland. He was on a good team in L.A., had a couple of good games, but I mean, I'm going to say nobody's touching Lamar, and it has nothing to do with the color of skin. The guy is he's a roller coaster. You don't know what you're going to get. So what are you going to give up for a guy like that? And there's a reason Baltimore is getting short arms with this guy. So
see, Matt, here's the thing.
That's where I'm coming from.
I look at Lamar. At least he plays. He opted out at the end of the season. Kyler Murray got the money. He never wanted to play football. I mean, his love is baseball. You can see that. When you have to put in a person's contract, you must study film 20 hours a week. A little problematic.
That's like it's like saying you have to be able to read.
It makes no sense. But I'm having Ben Gordon Villanueva nightmares while we're talking right now too. And I know this doesn't apply, but there's a lot of people out there that are getting paid or are still getting paid. But currently speaking right now, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm laughing at Arizona because they must be like losing all kinds of sleep.
Yeah, and look, Kyler Murray would fit the profile because here's the other dirty secret. Can't win a game after November 1st. Go and look at Kyler Murray after November 1st as an NFL quarterback. Tell me what you see.
And if you look and say, well, no, the Cardinals won some games. That was Colt McCoy at quarterback.
Uh-oh.
Kyler was injured, and Colt came in and won 3 or 4 games.
Okay, more overrated. Now, it's probably Kyler because Lamar did win an MVP, but Kyler or Lamar?
More over Kyler.
Okay.
Because
if you had to have one quarterback your team, who is it?
I'd take Lamar.
Okay.
Because, Mike, at least with Lamar, I think once he gets his money, he's going to try to prove the world that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Kyler got his money and said, I'm good. I'm standing. I'm at GameStop. Who got next?
And if you missed it last night, I'm sure it's floating around. But, man, did Trae Young. They put Trae Young in the principal's office last night in Boston. Yeah. They crushed him. And it's on the heels of, by the players. He's the most overrated in the NBA. Kenny will make the case for Mitch Marner coming up next. Why Kenny thinks Tarasenko completely overrated. Kenny, I'm just busting your chops. Tavares was a good selection. I just needed something the listeners something a little more elevated. Is
Dylan
there
Larkin then?
Wow. Oh, that's okay. Is there a baseball one?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Take it easy. Well, I guess we'll get that next. 97.1.